Hi there, Stephen O'Hara here with the Better Software Company. In this video, I will be showing you the updated new customer form here in BPro. Okay, so anytime you click the new customer button up here in the top right, or if you're on the customer's list page and you click create customer, you'll have this form pop up. And you'll see right away it's got a great new look. It's very clean. We've got the rounded corners. I find it makes it very easy to navigate through this form, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so let's go through some of the information that we can add in here. First off, we can add an account owner to a customer profile. So if you wanted to assign a particular staff member and managing a particular customer account, you can do that now. And that's really cool. So that's something you'll be able to reference here in the future. We can add in some basic info here. I'll pop in my company name. Oops, Steve's Donuts. All right. First name, Steve, last name, O. All right. Throwing in an email here now. And cool little feature embedded in this now, where if you hit the magnifying glass, you can check that email and see if it exists in the system already. Now, if it does, there's a good chance we've already got a client profile for this particular customer. Okay, so this can prevent duplicates. Now, in this case, I'll have to add in a different phone number. I'll just or a different email. Sorry, we'll pop in a different email here, and there we go. It's unique. So you can unsubscribe like normal. You can add a title to the particular person that you're adding in. So maybe it could be Mr. or Mrs. In the case of working with a business, we might want to put in their actual job title. In this case, I'll put in manager. Okay, you can also select whether or not they're the decision maker for this profile. And that's a helpful reference if we come back to this in the future. Okay, now let's look at adding a phone number. So here in the select section, if you were to edit a profile, the same form here will come up, and you'll see in the select phone number section a list of all phone numbers that you have tied to this client's file. Okay, so then you can select that phone number and make edits to it. Okay, in this case, I'm starting from scratch, so I'm going to add a phone number here right now. I do need to follow the proper format here. Okay, I've got my phone number. I can add an extension if needed, country code too. You can disregard if you don't do business internationally. If you do, this is very helpful for you to be able to pop in the country code. Next, we can put the phone type. So I'll say cell, and then description allows me to define any particulars about this phone number, whether it's certain calling hours or, in my case, I prefer text-only communication. Okay. We can choose whether to display the phone number on the invoice and also assign this as the primary phone number. Okay. So if this is the only phone number I need to add, then perfect. I'm done, right? If I need to add additional phone numbers, I can click the add another number button here. And rather than the form just getting longer and longer by adding numbers, I can just reuse these fields and add my second number. Where did that first number go? It's now in our select phone number section. So if I need to pull it back up and make edits, I can do that very easy. Okay. Next up, we've got our address information. Okay, so on the right side here, we can define the billing address for this client. A couple things to point out real quick is the city, country, and state or province will auto-populate mirroring the city, country, and state or province of your business. So whatever address we have built in as your business address, that information will reflect here. And this helps if you're manually entering the address information so that you don't have to select necessarily all these fields and assign them from scratch. Okay, we'll add in an address right now. So we'll say 300 Bank Street. Okay, if it is a fairly generic street name, you'll find that you very well might need to type in the city or town name to go along with it in order to pull the specific result that you're looking for. Okay, so these address lookups are based on the accuracy of the information you type in, not not the geographic location. So it's not necessarily going to pull results closest to you, and that's just how Google Address Lookup works. Okay, so I'm going to select Bank Street, Ottawa. Perfect. You can add notes about your address right here. This is really helpful because it saves you having to click into the customer profile, edit the address section, and then add the notes there. We can enter these notes for the address right here upon intake. So that's a real good time saver. We can add any attachments for this particular address. So if it's maybe a photo or some kind of document, we can upload that. We can add phone numbers as well for the address specifically. Okay, so it works the exact same way as the phone number section on the profile. Okay, again, we can choose display or primary here. Okay, and next we have our service address section. So we've really created this form with a lot of great user feedback. So please feel free to continue to share your feedback with us. We love it and it's very valuable. We can now define the service address upon entering the client. So if it's the same as the client's billing address, perfect, right? That saves us some time. But if it's different, then we can define that service address very specifically. Again, all of the same options here in the address section. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the Intel tab. So under Intel, you can assign those lead source campaigns. Okay, so these tie into conversion rates for this client. It will also allow us to measure, any return on investment associated to the costs of the particular lead source campaign, and it'll also help us track the lifetime value of the client in relation to the method in which we earned that client's business. So it's pretty cool. You can build out a biography on your client. So this would be really helpful if you wanted to, document anything and have it save to that client profile. So little specifics about that client, their preferences, and things of that nature. Add that important information into the biography. Next, you can choose your Intel tags, and really these are your options to kind of define who the client is. Where do they fit into, the piece of the puzzle here, right? So are they commercial, residential? I know every system has different Intel options, right? So, you pick your Intel tags here, and that will stick with the client moving forward. And you can, of course, pick multiples. Gender, pretty standard. Age range, mood, of course, everyone should be pretty familiar with those. We now have a date of birth section, so you can keep track of your client's birthdays. So many folks like to be able to keep track of that, send birthday cards out to their client, or even special promotions for their birthdays. So we can add in that birth date information. And next up, you can add in really all those social media links too, so that you can stay connected to your clients online very easily. All right, so we've got our information saved in the profile. We'll just click Save now. Oops, I didn't complete my address. What am I missing here? Oh, see my service address, I didn't actually fill it in. I'm just going to go with same as billing in this case, okay? So little messages here will alert you if you're missing any required information. All right, away we go. So I've created my customer. I can then create a job on their behalf. I can jump into their profile page, create another client, or just close this window altogether. Now, I'd like to just jump into the profile page real quick and just show you we've also included some of these fresh aesthetics into your customer profile page as well. So you've got the rounded edges on the different panes here, so that I think it just looks really clean and again, a lot more pleasing visually. Okay, so that's it. That's your new customer intake form. I hope you like the updates we've made. If you have any questions about anything on the form, please feel free to chat in. And also, please feel free to share your feedback with us. We love it. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.